Okay, yeah. So like I was saying, we just come off the new moon cycle. New moons represent new phases, new beginnings, new opportunities. Remember, the moon deals with our emotional awareness. So if we're talking about a new cycle starting with energy that deal with our emotions, then that's the universe supporting us to keep things that's any form of a burden in the past. But we want to make sure we extract our wisdom from it. We extract the lesson from anything that we experience, which is whether it's career experiences, relationship experiences, things dealing with your personal issues and circumstances in your life. All right. The Leo house is activated like a mother shut your mouth right now. All right. So it's a lot of things going on in the house that you have Leo in right now. So you need to be conscious about your own actions in that area. You need to be conscious about what's being expressed to you. Whenever we look at the sun transiting a house, the sun influences awareness, light, and expression. So, like I always say, when the sun gets into a house, there's going to be a whole bunch of things that we're going to be able to see in that area we wasn't able to see before. Let me just pull up the chat just to make sure I see our messages. All right. So, I'm pretty sure in many different ways, a lot of you guys are experiencing, new insight, new awareness when it comes to what's going on in that Leo house. And it's still somewhat early. Leo, as y'all guys can see, Leo's only 8 degrees. All right. So it has a long way to go right now. And if you got Leo in the air house, you're seeing new things when it comes to relationship circumstances, things about yourself in relationships, and you can manifest being around a lot of expressive people right now, or people influencing you to express yourself in some type of shape or form right now. All right. So you want to be conscious about how you're dealing with your communication amongst others and who you are allowing yourself to exchange energy and time with right now. All right. Because things with the sun, Leo's a dynamic energy. It's ruled by the sun. It's fire. Okay. So when I'm talking about expression and the expression can be extreme. All right. So you can be around individuals. You got Leo in the air house. You could be around individuals right now that they're making you express yourself outside of your character due to whatever reason. So you know, that's just important to keep in mind there. If you got Leo in Earth houses, right now there's a whole bunch of new awareness when it comes into how you're building stability, how you're building security. All right. Just to go back to Leo in the air houses, just having Leo in the air houses, you can manifest a lot of expressive, egotistical people in your life. So that might be a strong theme during this sun transit through that house. All right, Leo's gonna bring that to that house, but it's also gonna bring people that stimulate your creativity in your life. It's gonna bring people into your life that's able to stimulate how you see your own potential when it comes to how you creatively express yourself as well, and a lot of opportunity for collaborative efforts, especially if it's in the sextile houses. So if you got Leo in the third house, or you got Leo in the seventh house. All right. Then Leo in the earth houses. All right. When you got Leo in the earth houses, I posted a video earlier this week talking about Leo through the houses. So you guys could just understand the natural influences Leo brings to the houses, because we know the signs also influence the houses, not just the planets. All right. So, this is what we talk about, how important the rising sign is, but we're talking about just the sign in that first house. We're not, when we say rising sign, we're not necessarily talking about the planets in the first house. We're just saying how important it is when it comes to that sign that ascendant lands on. All right. So signs in the houses are very important. That's the current series I'm doing on YouTube, but this past month and a half has just been a lot going on. Like I mentioned earlier to you guys, I relocated, so that's why I wasn't prepared for the new moon collective reading in Leo, excuse me, collective meditation for the new moon in Leo towards the end of this month. All right, so I'm in the midst. I'm at this point, I'm pretty much settled in and whatnot, but so I'm just getting prepared for us to dive into the collective meditation for the full moon in Aquarius. Uh, I may have Rue that was here from Hollands and Spices, the last meditation, participating with us. I have some resources I would like to use to have a nice little sound bowl meditation added to the whole process. So yeah, I'm just prepping that right now. So that's going to be around August 11th, guys. The full moon is on August 11th. So that's just to catch y'all up on that. But yeah, Leo and the Earth houses, you guys are seeing a lot of new a lot of new things when it comes to how you build stability, career, what you can use to build stability. You know, whenever significant planets transit Earth houses, guys, because okay, I want you to understand that whenever you hear an astrologer, especially me, say, oh, this transit is going to bring opportunities for the fire signs. This transit is going to bring opportunities, potential opportunities or whatnot for the earth signs or for the cardinal signs. Don't ever underestimate how a thought or a feeling can be the energy to access an opportunity, guys. You know, don't ever underestimate that. So if you know you got the sun transiting a earth house, then that's going to let you know an opportunity can be me simply being able to see, think, develop new ideas about how I could build stability. It may not just be somebody coming to you saying, hey, I can help you make a lot of money, this, that, and third. Is the sun deal with awareness, you know? So you're going to be able to have a brighter lens as to, oh shit, damn, I didn't realize I already knew this. I could make money from this. I didn't realize this, that, and the third. But at the same time, you can also manifest these opportunities from the external realm. It could be somebody telling you something about how you could build stability, security, or help you in that house that the sun is transiting. All right. So when it comes into my Leos in the Earth houses, second, sixth, and the 10th house, a lot of you guys are seeing things about how to navigate career and stabilize yourself differently, may manifest a lot of new opportunities right now when it comes to developing your finances. If there's any form of like debts that you're dealing with, financial tight situations with finances that you're dealing with, this is a great time to embrace taking things one day at a time, because the sun is going to continue to provide awareness as to how you can deal with those situations transiting your earth houses. All right, guys. But having Leo in the earth houses, you're naturally going to want to have your creativity be a part of, you know, how you either stabilize yourself. You can manifest a lot of attention in the workplace. You know, if you have a Leo midheaven, which that would make you a Scorpio rising. So if you have a Leo midheaven, you got to understand that you have somewhat of a bright light when it comes to how the world sees you. So if you ever want to brand something, broadcast something to the world, which that's the 10th, those are 10th house like themes: branding, business, what you broadcast to the world, your social status. These things have a lot of access to be seen. You know, you got Leo in the second house. We're going to kind of see your value system off the gate. We're going to see what type of people, places, and things you value. We can see things about your self-esteem. We can see your talents from the gate, because the second house rules talents. So, you know, Leo in the second house, they ain't gonna wait to you ain't gonna have to wait to know what they talented about. They gonna make it be known. Um, and then Leo in the sixth house, you know, you can attract a lot of, you can end up being center staged in the workplace a lot. That's the better word to use than just attention. Being center staged, being center staged. That's what Leo does in the house that it's in. It makes whatever's in that house in some type of shape or form something that others can see from you, or you're gonna manifest situations in that house where you're always center stage for some reason. The attention is always on you. So it could be in an uncomfortable way, it could be an opportunity type of way, you know. Not all of us like attention for everything. You know, it may be something that you don't want getting attention, and Leo or your sun sign is manifesting attention for that, and you working on something else. You like, nah, motherfucker, I want y'all to look at this. Look at this new business right here. Like, I need some sales. So, you know, at times how we navigate attention, that's a whole nother breakdown on its own. But Leo in the earth houses, you know, you're gonna manifest, you're gonna become center stage in the workplace a lot of the times. You know, it could be shit that don't got nothing to do with you. If you got Leo in the earth houses, be some shit that got nothing to do with you at work, and you end up in the situation in some type of shape or form being center stage there. But you're always going to be influenced to want to work on your creativity, schedule your creativity. Leo in the fire houses, you guys are very intuitive individuals. A lot of you, pretty much you guys are fire rising signs. All right. So fire rising signs, you guys are going to have the elements in all the houses they like to be in. Because the first house is a fire house. So if you're a fire ascendant, you're gonna have fire in the fire houses, water in the water houses, air in the air houses. So those energies, even though it's different signs, unless you are Aries rising, those energies are naturally gonna resonate there. All right. But yeah, fire in the fire houses, you guys are definitely downloading a lot when it comes to expression. You guys are manifesting a lot of center stage opportunities right now when it comes to what you may have awareness about or your creative endeavors. The first house is definitely placing a lot of light on things dealing with your personality and how you personally express yourself, and you're gaining new awareness on how to connect to your personal aspirations and goals. So this is a great time for Leo ascendants right now. Whenever that sun transit in the first house, Leo in the fifth house, Aries ascendants, you guys are seeing a whole lot about what you can put on the stage. You guys are probably manifesting being put into center stage positions more than anybody right now. Leo in the fifth house with the sun transiting the fifth house, and definitely become developing a whole lot of awareness with things dealing with the inner child. Things that you may neglect that heals and make the inner child feels more healthy, the relationship with the inner child feel healthy. So we have a lot of that going on. And then Leo in the ninth house, your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience. You're seeing how you could utilize these things. You're seeing how you probably don't be utilizing what you know in your experience with a lot of the time with the sun transiting here. You're feeling like you need to explore more, or you want to cross things off the bucket list, adventure, learn new things with the sun here. And you may be attracting people that are teaching you things with the sun in the ninth house, or you may be attracting with the sun in this house. If there's something you really want to gain knowledge about during this time, you'll attract the teacher that resonates with you, the course that resonates with you, the school that resonates with you around this time. And then Leo on the water houses, you guys are definitely downloading a whole bunch of new insight when it comes into how to deal with your emotional well-being, how to deal with situations in the home and with family members, how to deal with loved ones. You're understanding how to heal better. You're understanding what things affect your mental well-being, um, your mental and emotional well-being, because subconscious houses, water houses, it all deals with the internal energies. All right. So, our mind, how we think, that's internal at the end of the day. So some of that plays a part into some of the subconscious houses. But what has impacted the emotions, um once how to see, Leo is an optimistic energy. So if you have Leo in the water houses, uh a lot of the times you're able to see the bright side or the optimistic side, seeing the glass half full when it comes into any issues dealing with your emotional well-being and the subconscious. So those insights, no matter what you've been experiencing coming into this Leo's sun and Leo transit, those are the outlooks you want to connect to and hold on to. You have to understand, guys, life life I was dating this girl one time, and she told me about a quote that resonates with me to this day. She said, "Life is about mountains and valleys. One minute you're gonna be down in the valley, next minute you're gonna be high in the mountain, and that's just how it goes. Mountain and valleys. That's life. Life is up and down. But when it comes into how we have the power to sustain a certain lifestyle, a certain vibration, all of that takes is us being concentrated on a certain mindset or energy or theme. The longer we're able to hold concentration on wanting to live this type of life, build this type of business, have this type of relationship, have this type of family resolve, whatever it is, it just comes down to concentration, holding your concentration on these energies. So I say all of that to say, right now with the sun transiting water houses, my sun in Leo in the fourth house, Leo in the eighth house, Leo in the 12th house. A lot of you guys, when it comes to your insecurities or any things we all have insecurities when it comes to your insecurities or emotional burdens or things that have impacted the emotions. We need to hold on to that positive energy that sun is bringing in Leo to help you see the bright side, the optimistic side of dealing with the emotions right now. You may be in a space where you're becoming more aware of the emotions of your loved ones or the people that you connect to. So this is a time right now, somebody that you're emotionally connected to, whether it's an intimate partner, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend or something. uh you might have been concerned about something with you in the relationship or whatnot, but during this transit, you're going to build more of awareness of understanding somebody else's emotions. You're going to become more sensitive to the emotions of others when the sun is transiting your water houses, because that's what you're aware of. All right. So the minute you start becoming aware of the emotions with somebody else, you start thinking on it, and then eventually you could start feeling on it. So that's how that's playing out for the water signs. But I definitely see a lot of creative juices are bubbling as well with the sun transiting the water houses. We can't be leaving water influences out when we're talking about creativity. You cannot be doing that. Um, round up about, just current energies with the sun trans in Leo. We know we got the moon in Virgo to start the is the moon going to be in Yeah, Sunday. So the moon is going to be in Virgo to start the week, and it's going to jump right into Libra early. It should be jumping into Libra sometime on Monday. So right now you guys want to utilize today. Hopefully you guys got a chance to tap into some form of organization, getting more settled, seeing the details to how to schedule things with your personal agenda, especially understanding how to work on things more efficiently when it comes to any form of creative endeavors, creative projects, or how you express yourself. This energy right now, the sun and Mercury in Leo with the moon in Virgo, it can have us be very critical of how we express ourselves to somebody. So you may want to have a conversation with your partner. You want to have a conversation with your wife, your husband, your partner, your friend, your children right now. And Virgo energy makes us very detailed. It is a strong concentration on how critical we are about things, and we can overthink, because Virgo just needs to get it right. Virgo the perfectionist, very high standard that comes with that energy, but is dealing with the mind. So when it comes to any form of how we're going to express ourselves to others, we may be a real critical on ourselves with that. So be careful of that energy to start the week. Allow yourself to flow with any form of expression or communication. Okay, guys. So on top of seeing the new insight on how to work on things with our creative projects, even seeing new ways to organize how we connect to the inner child. You may know that healing your inner child deals with you making music. That's something you always love to do as a kid, and you don't be doing it as more, making music, being in nature, and socializing a bit. You know, this moon in Virgo energy over the weekend was actually helping us understand how we can fit those things into our schedule. Like, okay, I do have a budget to go to the studio a couple times a week, and then this and the third, and be here and do that. So Virgo's helping us schedule and organize them things as we deal with this transit. All right. And last thing I want to talk about before we get into the energies for the month of August. Y'all know when I break down the energies for the month, I like to, even when I break down energies for the week on the Sunday live streams, I always like to make sure I'm highlighting who the lucky days are, who's going to be getting hit with some friction and need to prepare for this transit so it doesn't just throw them off guard, who's going to have natural opportunity. Okay. So I always like to give you that insight just in case you want to take notes and have your astro calendar set for the month. So you already know, all right, this week, let me put energy here. This week, let me avoid this. All right. Now, last thing I want to talk about before we get into energies is this bad boy right here, Uranus, Mars, and the North Node in Taurus. All right. So I kind of been speaking about it yesterday. I made like a little video about it, and then spoke about it on live a little bit. I wanted to make a separate video for this for Patreon, but I figured I'd just hover over it while during the Sunday live stream. And uh in the most meta definition, to make a long story short, we know Taurus rules our value system. Taurus rules our values. It rules shit. It rules finances. It rules the economy. It rules how we deal with gaining stability and security, but how we use our values, what we value within ourselves, what we feel like our self-worth is in order to manifest that foundation. Okay. And it deals with growth, patience. Okay. It also deals with materialism. It deals with monetary gains, all of that good stuff. And it's an earth sign. So earth signs is always going to correlate to society and structure. Don't matter the earth sign. If we're dealing with heavy earth transits, I said this on live yesterday, if we're dealing with heavy earth transits, things in the physical reality will change or will pick up on that energy. It's inevitable. you know when we look at if you guys can go back and look at the transits when COVID started and mandates started, and people have, if you really go back to the peak of it, when the first few celebrities were catching it and we didn't really understand what was going on. Look at the transits. We had Mars, Pluto, Saturn in Capricorn. I think there was another planet in there too. Jupiter. I think Jupiter was in there too. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jupiter was in there too. That was like what? That was how long ago? Damn, time is really flying, y'all. It's been a couple of years we've been having this shit a part of society. But yeah, I think Jupiter was in the mix, but I definitely know it was Mars, Pluto, and Saturn all in Capricorn around that time. I think it was a 4-planet stellium, and Uranus was in Taurus. So we had heavy generational planets transiting Earth signs. Uranus had just entered Taurus around that time. We know Uranus, the generational planets, they transit slowly. All right. So Uranus could stay in a sign for 6 years. It could stay in a sign for the longest. And especially when these planets are going retrograde, they'll stay in a sign for a long time when it comes to Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. All right. So we had these strong generational planets in Taurus and Capricorn. All right. So if you guys just look at your chart, go to the house you have Taurus in, and go to the house you have Capricorn in. Now tell me what you've been experiencing the past couple of years, the past 3-4 years. Tell me what you've been experiencing in that house, because Pluto's been bringing all type of transformation into that area. I'm a Capricorn ascendant. I'm a Capricorn ascendant. So the personal transformations I've been going through the past couple of years, I could write a book. I could write a book in the past 3 years. And then when you look at the house, you have Uranus and Taurus, and excuse me, because that's the house Uranus is transiting. There's been a whole lot of transformation taking place in that area. Now, the ways those two planets, just to make it a bit more specific, the way Pluto and Uranus deal with transformation is in two different ways. So Uranus represents our individuality and our uniqueness, and it's rebellious. All right. People that are naturally individual can come off rebellious. If you have strong Scorpio, Aries, Aquarius placements, and if you have strong placements in the 8th house, in the 11th house, you can come off like this, and then you'll probably have people tell you things about yourself in relationships or friends and family members, and it's like, yo, I really just be, I'm not even trying to cause static or chaos. This is just me. This is just me. This is just my individuality. I don't mean for my individuality to change every environment, relationship, person I come in contact with, but I can't change myself for other people. Like, I'm me. If you need someone to add a chapter or two, holla. I'm gonna let you know, Dawn. We gotta get our publishing right and all that, so we get our credit. We're gonna split our percentages up. Yeah, I love you, Dawn. But for real though, these planets been causing heavy transformation. So Uranus is so individual. Uranus wants to gain power. So wherever you have Uranus at in your natal chart, just naturally, not the Taurus house, whatever house you have Uranus in, you're constantly going through transformation over time, because Uranus is trying to teach you how to become an individual. When we look at spiritual transcession, guys, when we look at us being able to transcend into bigger bodies, better lives, I don't even really want to say better lives, but when you do gain wisdom from your experiences, that's naturally what you're doing for yourself, though. You're creating a better life for the next life, because you're going to come into that life with certain lessons you took care of in this lifetime, a certain amount of awareness period. We all ahead of the gap, because we all into astrology and spirituality. So we are already a little bit a level above the average people in the world, just because the average people may not be connected to their spirituality. There's some people that's not into per se spirituality or into astrology, but they're still taking care of their lessons spiritually. So it works in different ways. But when we talk about ascending, going to different higher dimensions after this experience or whatnot, or whatever, creating better lives, or starting to prepare ourselves for higher realms. When we look at certain planets, they teach us, they're preparing us for that. Our transits, that's what our natal chart is, guys. Our natal chart is a bunch of concentrated energies, and these concentrated energies create situations. These situations that we experience create wisdom, it spiritually develops us. All right. So if the more we just embrace these things, the more we are able to reflect on why we attracted things, experience certain things. And we got the cheat code right here. So we got a cheat code already, knowing astrology, being into astrology. So the more you just embrace these things, the more you spiritually develop, even if it's a traumatic situation. So it could be a crazy heartbreak, somebody you was in love with left you. If you're able to take as much wisdom from that experience, obviously there's going to be a healing process and whatnot. But if you could take as much wisdom from that experience instead of playing victim or instead of pointing fingers, instead of blaming, you got to understand life happens. That's always going to put you in a state where you're going to be able to spiritually develop better. You're going to be able to cause more spiritual awareness, and just instead of just hypothetically speaking saying niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit, this, that, and the third, nobody, this, that you not make you could align with the collective, you could align with other people that have that type of attitude or approach, but at the end of the day, your personal experiences and relationships are different from other people's personal experiences and relationships. So as long as you're able to understand why you conduct yourself in a relationship, why you attract certain people, why certain traits, why certain things, always the same kind of themes happen in your relationships, you just trying to understand that, learn that, embrace that, take that experience. That's what's always going to help you to go into the next realm. And now dealing with relationships, you're not dealing with all of that no more, because you embrace those relationship lessons you had to take care of in this lifetime. And this is what we just continuously do, guys. We just continue to do this. The gifts that you have now, if when I look at y'all guys' charts and I see, oh, you got a trine here, oh, you got a sextile here, oh, you got this planet in this sign, it loves to be in this sign, or you got this planet in this house, it loves to be in this house. You have to understand, guys, y'all manifested that because of the work you did in your previous life. You manifested these gifts and powers and the things that you're naturally good at based off of what you've been through in your past lives. All right. So, with all of that being said, you know, it may not be easy to remember what you've been experiencing in a past life, but just keep it in mind that you don't want to underestimate the work you've been doing spiritually, what you've been going, what type of lessons you've been learning, what you've been experiencing. All right. And I like to just keep that in people's minds and keep that in my mind, because it just helps me to be in the present when I'm dealing with things in my life. Me understanding that, like, yo, I've done probably spiritually been through everything already. I done probably got killed, murdered somebody, did this, that, and the third. Like, we've been through it all. You will remember the thousand millions of lifetimes you experienced. But let's not block all those blessings or the things that we brought here based off of being so caught up in one experience, not understanding life is going to continue to move. We're going to continue to experience. Life moves in chapters. All right, guys. So just a little spiritual gem about that. But just looking at this Uranus and Mars in Taurus. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, I'm just going to hold a little Q&A. I like to hold Q&As after the live stream. So, or after I get into the energies. So, if you guys have any questions, we're going to have a space for that at the end of this. So, with the Uranus and Mars, yeah, Uranus is very individual. And I got all the way to that spiritual shit because I was basically, it derived from me saying how that's what Uranus is trying to spiritually prepare us for. So the house that you have Uranus in, you're naturally going to be placed in situations where you may have to fight for your individuality. You're going to naturally deal with power and control issues in that area. You may be a black sheep in that area. There's a high chance that you're a black sheep in that area, that you're a real individual. You come off rebellious in that area, or you attract those type of themes and energies and people in that area. All right. And we go through all of that because in order to transcend, get into these higher realms, these bigger bodies or whatnot, there's certain lessons that we have to learn down here. And individuality is one of them, guys. Individuality is one of them. The more that you put yourself, the more that you put effort into learning yourself, knowing who you are, being comfortable in your own skin, that's helping you develop when it comes into your individuality. That's helping you put yourself in a better position for things happening in the next life, because now you're not going to be in a state where you're so dependent on other things around you, because in those higher realms, it, you it's hard to deal with those other realms if you're not developed to a certain point. Not to just keep jumping to different dimensions and moving all over the place, but it's just certain themes and things that you have to have already learned to even get into some of those bodies, this, that, and the third. All right. Things is way different in the higher dimension than it is in this physical third dimension. But when you embrace these type of lessons in your life, when you get up to these spaces, then you're going to be able to navigate things, because spiritually you developed yourself a certain way. So I keep saying individuality, because that's the big theme here with this transit. Uranus creates transformation based off of it being so individual and being, wanting to express and show off its uniqueness, what's different from me in comparison to y'all. That's what Uranus, that's the type of person Uranus is. If people go left, I'll go right. If people go up, I'm going down. That's Uranus all day, every day. It doesn't necessarily want to be in the mix and doing everything everybody does. And it's very erratic and very unpredictable. All right. Uranus energy is erratic and unpredictable. Now, when we look at Mars, Mars represents our intentions, our passions, our goals, and it's a straight up individual energy because it rules our individual passions, goals, and our intentions. All right. And we know Mars likes to do things with force. We know Mars is motherfucking aggressive. So when we're looking at that Mars energy together with Uranus, that's already a dynamic energy alone because Mars and Uranus together, it brings extreme energies. They're both volatile. Uranus is unpredictable, then Mars is aggressive and forceful. So it could create a lot of intense situations in the house that we have, on top of putting us in extreme lessons and situations where we got to protect, fight, defend our individuality or deal with strong power and control issues. So that may be another thing that's going on in the house with Taurus, even way before this week, way before this conjunction. Just when Mars got into this house, Mars been in this house for a little minute now. It's 18 degrees. All right. So it's about to be like what, close to a month or something like that. Mars been in this house. Just look at what you've been experiencing in the house you have Taurus in. You most likely going through some form of power and control issues there, or you're fighting for some type of power or individuality or space in that area or respect in that area. But nonetheless, things are changing and things are transforming. So that's what Mars and Uranus does on its own. Now with the North Node, the transiting North Node in the mix, the North Node is all about how the collective is spiritually growing and the spiritual direction the collective needs to be following. So with the North Node in Taurus right now, everybody needs to be honing in on what they value within themselves. you know and eventually them things may manifest into different opportunities, especially when it comes into how you're able to develop stability and security. All right. And the North Node in Taurus is about becoming active in the physical realm. So it's one thing when you have an idea, this, that, and the third, but when we have a North Node transiting an Earth sign, we need to be in building mode. That's what's spiritually developing us at the moment: planting seeds, gardening, building. I mean that in the spiritual figurative sense when I say planting seeds and gardening, aka valuing what is it that we have to offer to the world, connect to the world, have as a service to the world, connecting to things that keep our self-esteem in a positive place. These are all the things that come with the North Node in Taurus to help us spiritually develop as a collective. So now all these energies together. The last time these energies was together was over 2,000 years ago, about 2,300 years ago. You know, so it's been a while. This is a rare occurrence. Now, I broke this energy down as us creating opportunities to spiritually develop by fighting for our individuality or making people respect our individuality. That's the main theme of how I see this energy. However, I'm starting to resonate with this energy being more of a seed that's being planted, a slow seed that's going to sprout slowly. So this may just things may not be as intense or extreme to start the week, this, that, and the third, but eventually, as Mars continues to transit this house, that is going to leave a stain in this area as to how you need to be fighting for your individuality and make sure it's respected here. And that's going to be manifested through a bunch of different power and control issues. So if you have Taurus in the fire houses, the first, fifth, or the ninth house, this is taking place when it comes to how you express yourself. All right. You already now keep in mind Taurus, the houses Taurus is in, you naturally value these houses. That's the energy Taurus brings there. It don't matter what house Taurus is in. You could tell me something that you dearly value, sincerely value in that house. And when we look at Taurus in the fire houses, they value how they express their goddamn selves. A lot of time fire and the earth signs in the fire houses are going to have more of a cool, calm, collective form of expression, and they're going to be more observational when it comes to how other people express themselves, because earth signs are feminine. All right, earth and water signs are the feminine elements. Air and fire are the masculine elements. So we know when we're talking about feminine energy is naturally based on understanding and receiving. So if you have earth in a firehouse, you may be in an understanding state when it comes to how you express yourself. A lot of the times you may even overthink when it comes into how you express yourself from time to time, but you're very structured, you're very organized, and you like to do things in the most rational way when it comes to any form of creativity or self-expression. So right now with Taurus in one of your firehouses, you're going through transformations with fighting for your respect and individuality when it comes into your visions, your creative pursuits, creative projects, and how you express yourself. There may be different situations with you, your form of expression being limited, you know, somebody trying to restrain your form of expression in some type of shape or form, or your vision. You have a vision to do something, and in some type of shape or form in these houses you're manifesting situations where people are playing out as blockages or resistance. That's what's going to spiritually develop you, making sure you fight through that resistance, through that blockage in some type of shape or form. If you have Taurus in earth houses, there's going to be some transformation taking place when it comes into the career field, when it comes into how you like to develop stability, when it comes into things in the workplace, when it comes into what value you feel like you have, when it comes to what you could build and stabilize or bring to the workplace. These things are transforming. You may feel like that it's very deserving for you to be in a certain position in your company, in the business that you run, this, that, and the third. These are all the things that, Mars and Uranus and the North Node is going to be pushing you to fight for and make sure you get your power with that. This is how you're going to spiritually develop here. Then if you got Taurus in the air houses, you guys are going to be going through a lot of transformation, power and control issues, and possibly having to fight for your individuality when it comes into your relationships. When it comes into your relationships of all sorts, these are going to be areas where you're going to be dealing with power control issues, fighting for somebody to understand something or respect something with your individuality, aggressive individuals. So if you got Taurus in the air house, you need to be careful how you're dealing with individuals, especially this week, how you're dealing with other parties. There's a lot of times when we're getting into extreme situations with our partner or our loved ones or family, that in the midst of it, we can feel the tension building up. When you feel that tension building up and you got Taurus in an air house, don't add gas to the fire. Don't do that right now. There's way too much intense extreme energies there. And that little situation, that little argument, that little fight can cause some transformation in the long term that you didn't think it could cause because of these type of energies. All right. But at the same time, you guys are going to be put in situations where you are going to have other people respect your individuality. So if you get into extreme situations from having to defend your individuality or make sure your partner, co-worker, friend, child, or somebody's respecting that shit, then those are going to bring the positive transformations. Those are going to bring the positive transformations and understanding. That's going to move you into more relationships that, resonate with your type of energy. All right. And then if you have Taurus in the water house, if you have Taurus in a water house, how you deal with loved ones, the subconscious, what's close to you, what you deal with in the private, these things are going to be transformed. You may have some issues dealing with invasiveness and unpredictable distractions when it comes into, your private space and your comfort zone. You may deal with a lot of that right now. All right. And making sure people respect your boundaries, your boundaries, your comfort zone, your private space. These are things that you guys is going to bring spiritual development. These are the things that you guys are going to have to make sure you persevere from, and you make sure people respect that and respect how you feel. You may be in a relationship with somebody and they really don't be taking into consideration how you feel about things, how things affect you. So these are the things that you're going to have to fight for. But like I said, I really think this is a seed that's going to slowly sprout. This conjunction is going to last at least a week and a half to 2 weeks, because a conjunction is when a planet is at least 7 degrees away from a sign. So it's going to take at least Mars. It's going to take about a week and a half and 2 weeks for Mars to finally separate from that Uranus and North Node energy. All right. So we just want to be very cautious about these things over the next, week and a half, 2 weeks, on top of if you guys see anything happen with society, how things are structured, things dealing with airports, traveling, um, how we anything going on in the economy that's extreme, or big news, then you guys already know, like, okay, we seen this coming. We seen the transformation coming within society, like, so that's something to be aware about. And this is also a time to be very wise with how you're dealing with finances. Remember, Uranus and Mars, they share a lot of themes. And one of the things, thank you, one of the things that they share is motherfucking impulsiveness. Both of the niggas is very impulsive, Mars and Uranus. So when it comes into money management, finances, spending, we could do the most these next 2 weeks. We could do the most these next 2 weeks. So you got to be wise. You got to be wise in that sense. All right, guys. Now this energy, just to wrap that up, this energy will be harmonizing with the earth signs. So I don't even know if I could use the word harmonizing, because this alignment brings such intensity. But what happens here for the earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo placements, y'all are the ones that's going to be the example to everybody else and to the world on how you need to fight for what you value, fight for what you're building. Be intentional. Be intentional and put energy work into what you're trying to build, and how to embrace change and transformation with what you're building. If you got strong earth placements, especially if you're earth sun, earth moon, earth rising, you naturally have qualities that understand longevity, because earth sign deal with patience. Earth signs deal with being in the present, and it deals with reality. So with all that being said, you guys understand longevity, and when it comes to longevity, you guys understand that things change over time. Earth signs know this. Earth signs understand this. you know if an earth sign or somebody with strong earth placements plans on building a business, they already know that they're going to go through transformations and changes when it comes to how they like to stabilize things in the business. All right, but that's why they're so gravitated towards being in the present, making sure that they're taking care of everything they see in the present to avoid extreme transformations or changes, etc. So earth signs, y'all have to be the ones to use that practicality, patience, understanding when it comes to all of these things, so we can rely on y'all during these times right now. All right, now fixed signs: Leos, Scorpios, and Aquarius. You guys are the ones that's most likely going to feel the most friction from this energy, because this energy is squaring Aquarius, squaring Leo, and opposite Scorpio. All right, so these are gonna be the energies that you guys are gonna be you're gonna feel some friction. You may feel the most intensity or the forcefulness from others to align with other people's individuality or align with other people's goals and whatnot. When you got your own individual shit going on, there may have these. There's gonna have they may there's a high potential for my Leo, Scorpios, and Aquarius to manifest situations where you're really gonna have to voice your personal opinion. You're really gonna have to express how you personally feel or think about something, because you're gonna create a situation where you're gonna continue to be taken advantage in a situation or stay uncomfortable in a situation, whether it's a relationship, in the workplace, an environment you live in. These are things that you have to make known. You have to make these things known. And that's the and lastly, that is the that's what's going to happen with this energy, because the north node represents spiritual development. So if the north node is between these two energies that deal with individuality, there's going to be situations that if we don't voice our opinion, if we don't let our individuality be heard, if we're not making sure we're not conducting ourselves in an individual way, specifically in the house that you have Taurus in, the north node is going to make it more of a bitch. The north node, because that's what the north node does. The north node goal is to put us in situations where we have to learn things. So if we're not embracing things on the first level, north node is going to turn it up. It's aka that situation you didn't express your individuality, you didn't assert your individuality, is going to make sure that whatever environment, relationship, work, what type of workspace that is, that it becomes more uncomfortable, or people take more advantage of you. And that's why this alignment is gonna cause such extreme things, because people there's gonna be a lot of people that's probably gonna stay passive in that house. So then it's gonna take a crazy situation for you to just lash out and say, fuck this. I'm not gonna allow somebody to take advantage of me. Boom, boom, boom. Now you create an extreme transformation when you probably could have just nipped it in the bud. You probably could have just told your boss, like, listen, I really can't stay an extra hour today because this, that, and the third. But you let it rock. You let it rock Monday. You let it rock Wednesday. But then you wasn't even supposed to be at work Saturday. You came in for overtime on Saturday, or you came in because somebody called sick, they needed you. Then you came in, and then they making you stay another 2 hours. Then now that's when you flip. That's when you go crazy. That's when you slap your boss. And now you in a whole different transformative situation. But the North Node gonna have you like shit. I'm glad it happened though. You dealing with a case right now or whatnot, but shit, I'm glad you finally fought for that shit that you wanted people to respect. You voiced your personal opinion. It took an extreme situation. So personally, we're the ones experiencing it. So when it comes to us looking at this shit, we're gonna be like, damn, yo, I'm in a fucked up situation and that and third. But over there, the North Node and your alignments, your spirit is going crazy because they're like, yes, finally, it feels so great to get that off our spirit. And that's something we literally say that at times, like, yeah, I need to get this off my spirit. It ain't no other way to say it. Like, our spirit be having to get shit the fuck off. All right. So this is how that alignment is gonna play out. All right, guys. I was about to say pay attention to the news. That don't even sound right coming out of my mouth. But for the most part, you just kind of want to be aware of what's going on in society or whatnot, these next couple of weeks, because I see some changes coming. Now, to get into the energies of August, that was a nice little warm up, guys. Okay, let's dive right into it, and then we're gonna get into this Q&A. All right, don't want to keep y'all here all night. Y'all know how I be doing on IG and YouTube. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. I had somebody message me one time, be like, damn, Bora, I went outside to work out, jog. I bumped into an old friend. We had a conversation, went home, took a shower, went back out to do some grocery shopping, came home, and you was still on live. That shit had me crying. Y'all. So let's get right into it. All right, August. August is here, family. Happy August, everybody. Happy end of the summer. That sentence don't even sound good. Like, damn, happy end of the summer. We don't want this bitch to end, but we're coming to the conclusion of it, y'all. We're in the middle of it right now. Is Leo, the fixed fire, the fixed portion of equinox of a season. But now we're entering August. All right, entering August. So what do we have in store? So we don't have nothing significant until the 4th, which is what? That is, let me put my calendar up. That's Thursday. All right. So let's just see the moon transits to start the week. So lucky days to start the week. Lucky days are going to be with the moon in Virgo. Lucky days are Scorpio, Cancers, Taurus, Capricorn. Yep, those are lucky days right now for today and tomorrow. Scorpio, Cancer, Taurus, Capricorn. Once again, when I say lucky days, these are days when just by default you're not even putting a lot of energy into anything, and you may manifest an opportunity. You may manifest the right thought, feeling, idea, guidance, information, direction, just because the energies are naturally resonating with you. So we call it lucky day. So those are my lucky day signs, including Virgo. All right. Now, when we look at that's what we have to start the week. So let's go ahead and fast forward. I just want to see the get specific with the moon transits for y'all, so we could continue to map out the lucky days. I know I'll be telling y'all to bring out y'all notes for that, so you can have your astro calendar prepped. So yeah, right now the friction is on with the moon in Virgo. The friction is on the mutable sign. So Geminis get situated tonight and tomorrow. Get situated tonight and tomorrow. Get organized. Get structured. You know, I love y'all. Y'all my air cousins, but y'all know how us air signs could be scattered, and y'all lead the y'all kind of be leading the pack with that at times. Even though we all be scattered, airs, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, we all be all over the place. So, but Gemini, use this weekend, this end of Sunday and the majority of Monday to get yourself organized and structured on a moon day. That also goes for Sagittarius. God damn, you mutable signs is scattered as hell. Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces, y'all definitely some scattered ass. All three of y'all. And then Virgo's the only mutable sign that's super organized and structured. But it plays out like that because mutable energy is flexible, is adaptable. It could relate. It could is you guys are the chameleons of the zodiac. So being so adaptable can make you highly connected or a part of so many things when you have strong mutable placements in the chart, especially if you got like multiple mutable placements, so that's like the light and dark side gift and curse to it. You're going to be hella adaptable. You're going to manifest so many different type of relationships, people, areas, be able to be in so many different environments, connections. But at the same time, you need to make sure you guys are able to stay in the present so you don't feel like your energy is all over the place. All right. And Pisces, Pisces use today and tomorrow to allow yourself to get structured, to get more organized with what's on the agenda for the week. Even though that's something we all need to be doing, because you guys are mutable signs, y'all the ones that need to make sure y'all on top of that right now. All right. So then the moon is gonna move into Libra on the second. The lucky days will shift to Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. All right. So those are gonna be the lucky days when the moon moves into Libra. Um when it moves in there. It's gonna move in there at it's gonna move in there. Oh, so we got moon in Virgo pretty much the whole day. The moon doesn't enter Libra until 29 degrees. Is it even entering tomorrow? So around midnight. So we got the whole day tomorrow with the moon in Virgo to get situated, organized, and see the details to things, guys. All right. And that's the thing. That's what you want to do when the moon is transiting a sign. You may not, you just knowing that the moon is in Virgo, when you go into things dealing with organizing, structuring, task, you're going to have access to make these things flow way better. You're going to be able to extract everything you need to extract out of you, structuring, organizing things, because that's the vibe we're in. So if you tap into that vibe, you're going to get everything you need to get out of it. All right. So yep. So we're gonna have the moon in Libra. Then the lucky days are gonna shift to Aquarius, Geminis, Leos, and Sagittarius. All right. So then we get to the fourth. That's the first important transit of the month. All right. And that is Mercury entering Virgo. All right. Mercury entering Virgo. I love this placement. All right. I love this placement. And people with Mercury and Virgo are so motherfucking smart because you have Mercury in the home space. All right. So shit, not even home. We could say Mercury's exalted here too. We could say it's a home place and is exalted here. All right. So when Mercury gets into Virgo, now Mercury actually gets to use his ability to think critically, analyze things, observe things, and it gets to use it in the right space. It gets to use it when it comes into our health, how we structure things, our schedule, our routine, things in the workplace, what we're trying to build. Mercury loves that. It loves putting all those things together. Mercury loves the instructions, loves the details, loves reading the motherfucking fine print, Rubik's cubes and all of that shit. That's all Mercury shit. So it gets to deal with all of that in Virgo. All right. So you're gonna want to pay attention to the house that you have Virgo in. That's gonna influence the house that you have Virgo in. That's gonna influence the area that you're gonna be thinking about a lot around that time. Wherever your natal Mercury is at, and wherever your transiting Mercury is at, This is an area that's naturally on the mind. You're naturally critically analyzing this area a lot, or people are going to be bringing things to you to make you think about it in the house that you have Virgo in. All right. But the house that you have Virgo in, Mercury will be helping you to see a whole bunch of things in this house that you ain't see before, or help you to think about things in a more efficient way in this area, help you to understand how to get more grounded in this area, help you understand how to schedule and organize more in this area, because that's already what Virgo's trying to do in that house. But now that Mercury's here, you're gonna have more access to being able to do that, and you're gonna also manifest some conversation or communicate with other people about in that house. A lot of this time it could bring a lot of interaction, and it could bring a lot of curiosity. So if you have Mercury in, like, if you have Virgo like in a water house, uh make sure that, however you deal with your privacy and comfort zone is, you know that's established in some type of shape or form, because you guys can kind of deal with people being a little too invasive right now. Just a heads up on that. All right, because Mercury just brings that curiosity. So sometimes people be doing a little too much, not knowing they doing too much. What you doing today? What time you doing that today? Okay, you going home like this and the third. All right, what you did yesterday? Like, bro, relax. Like relax. So that's Mercury and Virgo. This energy will be harmonizing with the earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus. You guys are going to be developing a whole bunch of new ideas on how to get structured, organized things, and manifest opportunities for information, guidance, or new perspectives on how you could deal with building things. And then it's going to be harmonizing with Cancer and Scorpio. So Cancers and Scorpios, you guys are going to be in a space to manifest a lot of new opportunities dealing with building stability, career, new ideas, insights, and awareness when it comes to these things, and how to work on things more efficiently with the ways you may be working on them now. All right. So that's what we got going on with and it's gonna bring friction to the mutable signs, to Gemini, Pisces, and Sagittarius. So Gemini, Pisces, and Sagittarius, while Mercury's in Virgo, you guys are gonna have to make sure that, you know this is really gonna be a to start this month for my mutable signs, Sag, Pisces, and Gemini. You being too scattered can cause a whole bunch of shifts right now, because Mercury's in Virgo, giving y'all friction. So it's forcing y'all to have to be in the present, be stable, and be critical about how you're scheduling and organizing things. So if there's no effort for that, we can create a whole bunch of new lessons that we don't want to deal with. All right, Geminis, Pisces, and Sagittarius. Even once you start feeling yourself a little scattered or whatnot, you just want to make note of that. So that night, the next morning, or whatever it is, that you can allow yourself to become a bit more grounded and actually take some time. Because that's the thing about the mutable signs. Really, really, Sagittarius and Gemini. Pisces a little bit more patient, but Gemini and Sagittarius, you guys move around a lot. You guys rule things dealing with movement, and traveling. So your energy naturally is like that a lot of the times. This is why a lot of y'all talk so fast. This is why a lot of y'all, when y'all talk, y'all real theatrical and shit. It's just a lot of movement going on with you guys. So y'all want to make sure y'all stable around this time. And Pisces, you need to make sure, while Mercury's in Virgo, you're taking your time in the month of August to really sit down and critically think about how you're going to work on things, how how to ground yourself dealing with your emotions, how to ground yourself in reality right now, because this is your opposite sign. So you rule things dealing with the imagination and creativity in the subconscious realm and the astral realm. Virgo rules things dealing with reality, the workplace, our schedule. So this placement is going to be right opposite from you. So you're going to constantly be attracting things throughout the month of August that force you to have to sit down, think about how you're going to work on your creativity, because you guys daydream a lot. So you have a whole bunch of creative things in your head. You have a whole bunch of creative insight in your head. You have a whole bunch of potential and imagination in your head. Mercury and Virgo ain't dealing with all of that daydreaming and imagining. It's like, no, we could work on this. Like, it doesn't have to stay in our daydreams. We can actually work on these things. We can stabilize these things. We can bring these things into reality if we develop the right plan and agenda for these things. So that's going to be a strong influence right now for Pisces. All right, guys. So that's what we got. August 4th, first transit of the month. Okay. And let me just continue to go through the lucky days for this first week. And then we're gonna have the moon in Scorpio to pretty much end the week, to start and end the weekend. So the lucky days starting Thursday are gonna shift towards they are going to shift towards Cancer, Pisces, Capricorn, and Virgo. All right. When the moon enters Scorpio this Thursday, the lucky days shift to Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces, and Cancer. All right. And Scorpios. So that's what we got going on there. August 4th. Then August 5th. Okay, first quarter moon. August 11th. We got a spicy one, y'all. August 11th. Whoa, damn, we got a lot going on August 11th. August 11th, we have Venus entering Leo. Venus will be joining the sun in Leo. All right. So with the sun's last 10, 11 day transit, days left in Leo, Venus is going to be like, just going to jump right into that Leo house. All right. And we're going to have the full moon in Aquarius. All right. Like I said, we're going to be having that full moon collective meditation. And when we look at, okay, when we look at Venus entering Leo, guys, we know the sun represents our actions and expression. So when it's in Leo, we feel influenced to be more expressive. We feel influenced to take action, to gain attention on something we want attention or light for. All right. Where more the sun influences us to be more expressive. But we know our actions and how we express ourselves, these things are going to have more of a crave to be seen. Now with Venus in Leo, Venus represents our values and our love language. So with Venus and Leo, now we become more dynamic as far as how we want things to be seen with what we value, how we want things to be seen with our love, with our feelings. All right. So this can create a lot of situations. Before I say what I was about to say, with Venus and Leo, this shows us as a collective, this is a time for us to be valuing Leo things in our life, valuing connecting to the inner child, valuing having some fun, valuing dealing with your creativity, not letting others front on your creativity. Value what is it that makes you feel lively, okay? And valuing your form of expression. We all have different energies. Some people are overly expressive, some people are real introverted, but when Venus gets into Leo, however you express yourself, this energy is going to push you to make sure you appreciate that, you embrace that, and you don't let others make you think differently on how you deal with expressing yourself, and you continue to experience these things. Now when it comes into our relationships, because obviously when we look at Venus, we got to look at things dealing with love, right? So when it comes to our relationship, when it comes into our marriages, all right, when it comes into that person that we're dating, understand Venus is in a place where it can be seen more. So our love language and what we value, these things can be seen more, but Leo rules expression. So with Venus in Leo, let's not get it twisted, it is fire. So we can have dynamic expression within our relationships with our loved ones, with the person we're dating, with the person we're involved with Venus in Leo. We could be way more impatient expressing things with Venus in Leo. We could be more selfish right now. With Venus and Leo could create some selfishness to an extent. And it's funny because Venus is a giver and Leo is a giver too. They optimistic, but when they come together, now you have an energy where when it comes to what you love, you want somebody to pay attention to it. And that can create some selfish energies. All right. So if you able to pick this energy up with your partner, now you have more of understanding how to navigate the situation. Like, okay, they're just forcing, they feel there's so much in their feelings to get me to see how they feel and understand how they feel, but they just feel like I don't see it. Like I understand it. I've expressed about my understanding about their feelings, this, that, and the third, that's very important. And we know fire overall is expressive. So Venus in Leo, it can just be some extreme situations dealing with expression with loved ones or when it comes to what we value. All right. So those are like the pros and cons to Venus and Leo. This energy will naturally be harmonizing with the fire signs. So Aries and Sagittarius will be manifesting opportunities to mate, opportunities to find resolve in their relationships, opportunities to connect to what they value more, opportunities to have how you guys express yourself or what you want the world to see from you valued some more. All right. So Sagittarius and Aries, when this energy gets popping, you guys are already in a very positive, fruitful space right now because the sun is harmonizing with y'all. So, you guys are gaining attention for a lot of things dealing with your creativity. You're being able to see the more positive, optimistic side to things dealing with your personal issues in life and natural opportunities. Excuse me, y'all. So when we look at so when we look at Venus and Leo, I see a lot of opportunities to either, you know, connect if you're single, you know, possibly find some opportunities to connect to people that relate to your creativity on a collaborative effort. It may be opportunities like that. And it may be opportunities for you to actually find resolve within the relationship you're in now when it comes to any issues. Because now, what people truly value, even if, let's say, you were dating somebody and it hasn't been that long, or you know, there's just certain things going on in your relationship, and you feel like what you value ain't being seen. This transit is not going to let that continue. This transit is not going to let that continue. So whatever people value in their relationships, they're going to find ways to express that to their partner, and hopefully that finds resolve. So these are some of the opportunities Aries and Sagittarius and Leo itself are going to manifest around this time. And then when we look at the energies, Venus and Leo is going to be harmonizing with, is going to be harmonizing with Gemini and Libra as well. Okay. So you guys may have a lot of opportunities to interact, connect your creativity, develop new creative ideas, be able to build community or relate to other individuals that's into what type of vision you may have for something in your life right now. All right. So keep that in mind. And it's gonna have friction with the fixed signs. All right. So for my Taurus, Aquariuses, and Scorpios, when Venus enters Leo, this is going to be a time where you guys are going to have to learn to be more expressive of how you feel about things. All right. Taurus, we know sometimes you like to deal with your love language through what you can give. All right. What you can give, you might have to be a little bit more expressive, or you might have to make sure that you're valuing, you know, somebody else's values as well, other than your own. um Aquarius is, this is a time where you may feel real vulnerable, because when it comes to expressing the emotions, that's a vulnerable thing, but Venus is opposite from you. So right now you may be placed in situations where you have to express how you truly feel about something. And I know y'all Aquarius, y'all don't even like the word feel. All right, so keep that in mind. People will be forcing you guys Aquariuses to show what you value right now, to open up about what you really care about and value in different type of areas. All right, especially in the house you have Leo in. And then Venus, and then my Scorpios. And then my Scorpios. Scorpio is a hidden energy, deal with the subconscious, and Leo deals with light. So around this time, Scorpios, you guys are definitely gonna be prone to manifest situation with people forcing y'all to express how y'all feel, connect how y'all feel. You know, put some light on how y'all feel. Shit, some of y'all are been experiencing that the past couple of weeks with the Sun in Leo. So not the past couple of weeks, but like the past week. All right. So that's the Venus and Leo energy. And the same day, we're gonna have the full moon in Aquarius. All right. So the full moon in Aquarius is all about us making sure that we detach, release from any burdens in the house we have Aquarius in, and also when it comes into any form of community, groups, relationships, seeing how these things affect us, seeing how these things affect our vision and what it is that we actually have aspirations and creative endeavors for. You know, it's gonna be the house that you have Aquarius and is gonna be fully illuminated. So you're gonna be very sensitive to things in that house, whether they're occurring now or whether they occurred in the past. All right, let's see what aspects is making real quick. I'm not going to dive heavy into it, but oopsies. Okay, so it's going to be harmonized. Ooh, we got some squares in here. So it's going to be friction with Mars. So we're going to have to respond to our individuality in some type of shape or form. Oh, it's gonna be, oh shit, it's gonna be squaring Mars and Uranus. God damn, Mars and Uranus is just aggy right now. So we're gonna have to we're gonna have to deal with some more individuality, power, and control issues. There may be a situation, relationship, group environment that you may have to detach from around this time because it doesn't align with your individuality. But we do have the moon conjunct Saturn, so we're gonna have a very realistic way of dealing with our with what we feel like we need to detach from, or our relationships and our you know, the environment, as far as how we associate ourselves with others. All right. And overall, our emotions, our feelings, Saturn helps us to be more rational and realistic when it comes to how we deal with our emotions and our feelings. All right, so we got a lot going on August 11th, y'all. What day this falls on? on a Thursday, on a Jupiter day. Okay, so that's August 11th. Then we're gonna be cruising. We're gonna cruise. And then August 20th. August 20th. What do we have? Mars entering Gemini. Shout out to all the Geminis in the building. Okay. When we look at let me see what the 20th. When we look at Mars, we know Mars represents our intentions. Then we know Gemini deals with communication, what's familiar to us, our local environment, close friends, traveling, movement, more so traveling in your local environment, siblings, but relationships, right? We know Gemini has a huge influence on relationships as an air sign. So shit, around this time, guys, with Mars entering Gemini, Mars brings passion, it brings force, it brings aggression, it brings transformation, and it brings intentions. So this is a time where we can see a lot of things change within our relationships. A lot of the ways things are going to change within our relationships is going to be because it may be individuality clashes. Mars represents individuality. So it may be a goal, intention, something that you're individually invested in. And you're going to start realizing around this time who you can share these things with and who you can't share these things with. And your relationships are going to change because of that. People are going to be very impulsive and be aggressive communicators around this time. Gemini has a huge influence on our ideas, is ruled by Mercury. So not only are we going to be impulsive communicators, we can be impulsive just because we have the idea and we may just act on it, because Mars is a pretty active energy. So this is a time to make sure that we remain intentional about how we conduct ourselves, or excuse me, this is a time for us to be intentional about how we utilize our information, our knowledge, and how we conduct ourselves with people, not just floating. You can't have Mars and Gemini. Whatever sign Mars is in, guys, you can't float with that energy while Mars is there. Mars needs direction, or it's just going to be all over the place and whatnot, or it's going to just take out its frustrations and anger in whatever way. You need to be able to give Mars direction. So when you look at the house you have Gemini in, this is the house that Mars is going to be able to bring some passion. It's going to be able to bring some new intentions. It's going to be able to bring a new insight on how you could take action on things. You know, you're going to, for the time, feel more durable in this area. So you may not even need a lot of rest or whatnot to work on something in this area. Or you may feel like you have a lot of energy and vitality towards taking care of things in this house. I don't know why I just had a tongue twister on that. But that's Mars and Gemini. This energy is going to be harmonizing with Libras and Aquarius. All right. So Libras and Aquarius, y'all got to be careful because it's harmonizing with y'all, but y'all could be real impulsive communicators right now as well. And you may manifest that as well right now as well. But you're also going to be more passionate about being intentional on how you deal with, your ideas, creative ideas, and how you sustain things in your relationships. All right. And it's also going to be harmonizing with Leo and Aries. All right. So Leo and Aries, you guys are going to be able to have your creative juices flowing more when it comes into who you can connect your creativity for, your creativity to, what type of individuals relate to your creativity, collaborative efforts around this time. Gemini deals with people as an air sign, so you guys may manifest actual relationships or people in your life that's able to support things, dealing with your passions, dealing with your goals. So that's going to be a real nice time for y'all, but it's going to have friction with the mutable signs. So Sagittarius is going to have to be more intentional about things dealing with their relationships and be careful of not becoming too scattered amongst things dealing with relationships with Mars and Gemini. And Virgos and Pisces are going to be feeling the friction. So you got to make sure around this time when it comes into your relationships, you're not letting nothing just float. Mutable signs, I need y'all to know that the most. Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo. This is not a time to let things float amongst relationships. Just be doing whatever with whoever. All right. So that's Mars and Gemini. Next we have. Did I say the signs have? Yeah, the signs have friction. Next we have the 22nd, and we should know what that is. That is the solar return for Virgo. So the sun is going to be entering Virgo on the 22nd. All right. And when the sun enters Virgo, it's going to activate the house that you have Virgo in, if it's not already in that house. Some of you guys may have some inter some and I don't know how I just forgot the house. You may have a house that has Leo and Virgo in it. You know, that's a pretty big house if it's um yeah, you may have a house with Leo or Virgo in it, but when the sun gets into Virgo, it's going to activate that house. And when the sun is in Virgo, now our actions is the end of the summer. It's the conclusion of the summer equinox before we get into the fall season. All right. So with the sun in Virgo, I like to say this energy helps us to see the details and helps us to get organized and situated as we go into a season where the sunlight is not there no more. So when we get to the fall season, now we start seeing leaves drop off trees. We start seeing small, slight weather changes in Libra season. So Virgo season is helping us to prepare for that shift. Virgo season is here to help bring stability, ground us, to help us see the details as the things we've been experiencing this whole year and get prepped mentally for what is it we want to be building and structuring leading into Libra season. All right. And then the house you have Virgo in, the sun is going to be shining a big ass light in that house. All right. So there's going to be a lot of things you ain't see before in that house you have Virgo in that you're going to see now. And the house that you have Virgo in, you're naturally detail oriented in the house. You know, you naturally rationally think about things in the house. You naturally like to have that house tidy or organized in some type of shape or form. And that house may be on your mind a lot of the time because it's connected to your Mercury placement. And then we got this energy is going to be harmonizing with Capricorns and Taurus. All right. So this definitely could bring a lot of new ideas and insight, information, guidance, conversation, Mercury, when it comes into career, building stability, or what you guys are structuring in your lives right now. And it's going to be harmonizing with Scorpio and Cancer. So you guys, Scorpio and Cancers, may manifest some opportunity dealing with building stability, security, or becoming more grounded. All right. Then we got the friction is going to be hitting the mutable signs. All right. So it's going to be hitting uh Gemini, Pisces, and Sagittarius. So this is going to be a great time for you guys to embrace this portion of the month to allow yourself to get situated, get as organized as possible going into the fall season because you're going to feel the friction pushing y'all to do that. All right. It's going to start when Mercury gets into Virgo, but when the sun gets in there, that's when you got to kind of start taking more action on these things because Mercury is just going to be developing the ideas for it. All right. We know Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. So that's what we got going on the 22nd. And then the 24th. We got a nice little month on us here. We got some shifts taking place this month. On the 24th, Uranus go retrograde. All right, Uranus is going retrograde. So the planet dealing with unpredictability, individuality, power and control issues, uniqueness, rebelliousness, change, transformation. It is now going to be in a state of revision. So when we look at the house we have Taurus in, there's going to be some old business opportunities popping back up. It may be some old lessons popping back up. We know, like I remember how I just broke down how Uranus helps us to develop individuality so we could take our individuality into the next life. The times that you didn't fight for your individuality or you didn't assert your individuality since Uranus has been in this house, it's going to bring those situations back. So let's say you have this alignment in your earth house, and you have a boss manager or something that be taking advantage of you, and Uranus was trying to influence you to stand up for yourself or assert your individuality in this place to meet that energy with some friction, to meet that shit with some resistance. If that never happened, if you never resolved that shit, then you can anticipate you having to do that while Uranus is retrograde. And we're going to be in a state of revision when it comes into how we can initiate change and transformation in our life. And we're going to be in a state of revision when it comes into understanding what makes us different from the collective, y'all. We're all different, you know? So Uranus energies are all about embracing whatever the fuck that different shit is, you know? And we're going to be in a state of revision. So you may manifest a lot of things in your relationships, in the workplace, conversations, certain influences that just put you in a state of having to replay things that deal with, your individuality, replay things that deal with you asserting yourself or embracing the things that's different about you. A lot of the times when it comes to the things that's different about us, we may be real private or introverted about them things because we feel like we have to align with collective in different type of ways. But Uranus tells us no. Uranus is here to let us know everybody there's something different about everybody. So around this time, you just want to make sure you're embracing that, whatever type of downloads and situations that's going to be going on in your Taurus house. All right. And Uranus is a generational planet, so it's probably not going to go direct until early 2023 because and Saturn and Pluto went retrograde a couple of months ago, and they're going to be direct right before the year end. Saturn's going to be direct like in Libra season or Sag season, or I mean Scorpio season, and Pluto's going direct sometime towards the end of the year. So Uranus definitely going to be going direct. We definitely going to have Uranus retrograde for the rest of the year, guys. All right. So that's what we got. Uranus retrograde is going to be putting the earth signs in situations where you guys are going to be able to see the details that you missed from things that you used to build in the past and how to stand up for your individuality in the workplace. Making sure that you express or embrace your individuality or what's different. So, and seeing different ways you might be able to help that, use that to help you build and structure in some type of shape or form. And it's also going to be hitting Aries. No, excuse me. It's going to be hitting Pisces and Cancer, from a harmonious space. So Pisces and Cancer, you guys are about to be in a space for the rest of the year where there's going to be a lot of replaying of energies dealing with what you could have used in the past to help you build stability. And also, you guys are going to be going through somewhat of positive spiritual breakthroughs when it comes to embracing what's different about yourself, connecting what's individual or different about yourself, to the external realm or using that to build. And then there's going to be some friction with the planets. It's been having friction with specific signs. Scorpio, Aquariuses, and Leos. But Uranus been in here for years now, so you guys may have been dealing with a lot of transformation when it comes to how you build structure, stability, and how you deal with your self-esteem and what you value and your self-worth. Just might have been experiencing some highs and some lows and whatnot. But with the energy going retrograde, there's going to be a time where y'all gonna feel the intensity to be forced to replay the times that y'all may not have embraced your individuality and replay the times that you may not have embraced working or stabilizing or putting energy work or trying to build the things that are different about you or seeing how you can use that as a resource to connect to others, teach others, enlighten others, this, that, and the third. All right. So that is Uranus retrograde. Then on the 25th, which is the next day after Uranus goes retrograde on a Thursday, we got Mercury entering Libra. All right, we got Mercury entering Libra. So when Mercury enters air signs, Mercury loves air signs because Mercury is like of the air element. It deals with like thoughts, logic, communication, right? And then when Mercury enters Libra, now when it comes into our relationships, yeah, there's going to be a lot of things being voiced, a lot of opinions being voiced. A lot around this time, we could look towards our partners being critical with us. You being critical of you holding your partner up to a high standard. You can manifest some constructive criticism about your relationship. So you might have to tell your friend, girl, shut up. I've been with this guy for 7 years, or I've been married for this long, this now. We've been doing our thing. Like, I don't need to hear it right now. So, people being invasive, curious, nosy when it comes into your relationships. All right. Mercury and Libra is going to make us develop a lot of new ideas and understanding about things in our relationships. We just got to be wise how we communicate it. Because when Mercury's in the air sign, we all communicated. We all getting shit off our chest. We all using that throat chakra with Mercury's in air signs. So you just want to be wise about how you communicate things. And then the house that you have Libra in, now you're gonna start seeing details to things in the house you ain't see before. You're gonna start seeing details to things in the house you ain't see before. You're gonna start manifesting some new information, guidance, some new knowledge in the house, learning new things. Mercury deals with learning and education, learning new things about how to deal with that house or connect in that house. You have Libra in that house. So the house that you have Libra in is naturally going to be somewhat of an interactive house. It's going to be a house where, is a house that you're going to be able to, any house that you have an air sign is going to deal with a lot of interaction and relationship influences. But because this house is Libra and is a Venus influence, this is a house that you're always being pushed to appreciate or find ways to, appreciate this house or make others appreciate this area or these attributes from you. Okay. This house can get supported a lot just by having a natural Venus influences. Just having Libra in this house This could be a house that by default, you may want to connect things out of this house to others a lot of times, because Libra is the one-on-one relationship sign. So even if it's in a subconscious house, sometimes you may yearn, especially if you have planets in Libra, you may yearn just to have somebody to connect to on a private level, that you could get things off your subconscious or whatnot. So those are just influences Libra brings in the houses, but that's how Mercury's going to affect going into Libra. And then now the friction of Mercury is going to land on the cardinal signs: Capricorn, Aries, and Cancer. So Capricorns, Aries, and Cancers around this time, especially Aries, are going to have to make sure that you guys are able to deal with some compromise and some understanding in relationships. Aries, we know you real individual, and compromising is tough. Capricorn, we know you can be very detached. And then we know Cancer sometimes could be stuck in their own emotions. So right now with Mercury and Libra for my cardinal signs, when we get up to that point towards the end of the month on the 25th, y'all gonna have to keep that in mind while Mercury's transiting Libra. You may manifest situations that push you and force you to be understanding, to be a team player, to compromise a bit, and that's how that's going to play out. This energy is naturally going to be harmonizing with Aquarius and Gemini, so maybe a lot of relationship opportunities with you guys, a lot of new advice, information, guidance that you may manifest from other people. And then it's going to be harmonizing with Sagittarius and Leo. So around this time, Sagittarius and Leos are going to be able to manifest a lot of potential for collaborative efforts. There may be a lot of situations where you're going to be able to find some resolve, or be able to develop some fruitful one-on-one relationships that revolve around the things that you have awareness about, that you're creatively invested in. And then 2 days after that, on the 27th, we're gonna have the new moon in Virgo. All right, you're gonna have the new moon in Virgo. So this energy, we know the new moon comes through, and it helps us to get situated and aligned. Well, it peaks pretty early too. Let me see. Oh, it peaks early, early, early. So it's gonna peak at six a.m. All right. So we're probably gonna have we're gonna have the meditation that night. That's perfect. All right. Or we could have it the night before. I'll see. But the new moon in Virgo, yep, we're gonna have a full moon collective meditation for that. And once again, when the new moon gets with the sun, it's a new foundation being set in that area. All right, it's a new cycle starting in that area. So when it comes into the Virgo house, the Virgo house is gonna be fully illuminated, fully activated, and there's gonna be all type of new awarenesses going on as to how the sun can continue to take efficient action in that house. All right, let me see what this energy is gonna be hitting. Is going to be squaring Mars. This Mars is beefing with the new and the full moon this month. Sheesh. So it's going to be squaring Mars, but it's gonna okay, so it's just gonna be squaring Mars. So we're just gonna have to work with that around that time. Okay, but we got that new moon in Virgo, and that's definitely gonna bring a breath of fresh air into the house that you have Virgo in. So whatever house you have Virgo in, the sun is gonna be bringing awareness into that area, but when the new moon gets there, it's gonna bring opportunity for a breath of fresh air for you to release burdens in that house. So if there's anything in that Virgo house, not to jump too ahead of ourselves, but if you just look at the house you have Virgo in, and you look at the certain issues you're dealing with in that area of your life, just know that um, this is a time to resonate with some situations coming to an end, so you can start bringing new things into fruition into that house. All right, and that's what we got, and that's what we got for the month of August, family. All right, so those are the important transits. That's how it's going to be affecting you guys. Um, So we're gonna have the two collective meditations. Um, I'm gonna think about what type of classes I want to do for the month. I still want to situate the synergy class between preparing for the collective meditations and relocating. Once again, I had to put it on the back burner, so I want to get into that, and most likely we're gonna have live streams on different topics on top of our Sunday live streams and everything else that is gonna be thrown up on here. All right, guys, y'all know every Sunday live stream. Uh, well, the last Sunday of the month, we're always going to go over the energies for the new month. But every regular Sunday, we're going over energies for the week, and that's a Q&A. So I just wanted to remind you guys to make sure that, when y'all come into the live streams, we always going to have a Q&A at the end. So, besides you guys having full access to inbox me questions about anything, um, you guys can also hold it for the Q&A if you like a verbal explanation or whatnot, whatever suits you. I just want to make sure you guys keep that in mind. All right. So, guys, do we have any questions about anything? About anything? You can throw it right in the chat. You guys can unmute if you want to verbalize it. Just want to make sure I answer any questions before I go ahead and shut it down. Let y'all enjoy y'all evening.
I'll ask a question.
Yes, you may.
Yeah, so, well, thanks. This is my first time being on here, and that was great. I got to rewatch because I was trying to take notes, but then I couldn't keep up.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
I'll just
kind of
rewatch.
I kind of felt that vibration as I was going through it. I'm like, hopefully they could just catch the replay and do what they
Oh,
got.
yeah, it's better that way.
Hmm.
So quick question. So in terms of like the Leo stuff, I have Leo in my 10th house, but my midheaven is in Cancer, which is my ninth house.
Right.
So I'm just wondering like how that might play out if your midheaven is, because you mentioned the midheaven and typically, yeah, I guess. Does
So
that,
so
yeah.
your midheaven been stimulated because the sun had to transit Cancer to even go in that house because your house that house starts in Cancer. So the minute the sun entered whatever degree your midheaven start at in Cancer, once the sun hit that degree, your 10th house was activated. So now the sun is in that house right now. And everything dealing with the new awarenesses you're gaining right now, how you're
Mm.
being influenced to take action on top of the new moon just transiting your 10th house and setting a new foundation with how you may feel like you want to brand yourself, broadcast yourself to the world, how you want to navigate things in career. That's all very active, but it most likely sounds like you got Leo in the 11th house too. Your 11th house starts in Leo.
So my uh 11th house is mainly Virgo, 10th house Leo. This is I guess I'm looking at, um, you don't use, I'm looking at like Placidus instead of whole sign,
Are you
but
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just asking, are you looking at the pie form, like how I got the energies physically displayed like this?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And yeah, so basically my 10th house is Leo, 11th house Virgo, and then my ninth house is like mainly Cancer and like a little bit of Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
and then a little bit of, oh yeah, mainly Cancer, a little bit of Gemini on the other side, and then a little bit of Leo, and then the midheaven point is in Cancer.
What's the degree? What's the degree on the midheaven point?
um 27 degrees.
So Leo is all up. Your 10th house starts at the end of Cancer. So the majority of that house is Leo. But they have both that house does is an intercepted house. So
Mm.
it's important when we look at the where that angle lands to start the house. So the actual start of the 10th house is, even though it's late degrees Cancer, it starts in Cancer. So the moon rules that house, and you need to understand whatever house you have the moon in, that house, you're bringing a lot of your energies from the moon house into your 10th house. So whatever house you have the moon in, what house do you have the moon in?
um uh 12th house.
Mm,
Wait, let me, yes. No, it's in my first house in Libra,
okay.
but my first house is mostly Scorpio and a little bit of Libra. And but my moon and ascendant are in Libra.
Okay, so like your moon is like right at the end of the house. Like it was about to go into the second house pretty much then.
Yeah, it feels like that all the time too. It feels
Okay.
like I'm on the edge of being a Scorpio moon.
Well, you most likely are just picking up your progressions. So like that's something I also
Ooh.
at the same time of what I be giving off to y'all is at the same time how much new things I'm coming in contact right now. So, I
Oh,
wanted to speak about progressions. I wanted to speak about uh some whole sign stuff with you guys, but I'm just now getting into it. So I wanted to make sure I'm able to articulate a certain way with the certain theories I'm looking at. But yeah, with so you got
cool.
the 10th ruler, which is the moon in your first house. So your first house, your personality represents your 10th house a lot of the time, because the first house is your personality, your physical appearance, especially on first impression. It's your personal aspirations and goals and how you personally express yourself and your personal outlook of the world. All of these things make up your reputation, what you're known for. Your personality radiates a lot in the workplace or within career. It's easy to see your personality, or that's something that could create a lot of opportunities for you in career. When you got the 10th house lord in the first house, you want to make sure you're always embracing placing what you do personally into career, or finding ways to align with things with building stability with your personality, or letting your personality be seen in that 10th house. So you have a business of a brand, let your personality be seen in that business or a brand. Is going to help that brand to go just by the natural energies you have. But with
Mhm.
all that being said, yes, your 10th house is very active right now. You got all of Leo in there. So even though it starts in Cancer, that's where that transit with the sun and everything is taking place. And you're going to continue to develop awareness in this house as the sun transits this house. And keep in mind, Venus is going to be entering that house in August. Venus brings support. So it may be all different type of new opportunities for you to get supported with how you deal with career. This would be a great time if like you needed to ask for a promotion, you wanted to launch a sale, you wanted to launch a new product for your business. Like this is the right now you in a great time for it, because the sun is in
Hmm.
this house. The sun is already here. You know, whenever you have significant transiting earth houses, this creates opportunities for how you build stability. So the sun is already creating these opportunities right now for you. And this is important for you to understand. If there was anything you wanted to do, any decisions you wanted to make, or anything you wanted to navigate in career. But Venus represents support, it represents love. So I could definitely see some things shifting in your 10th house over this time.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. There's a lot there that I think makes sense for my situation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I did have to go through I learned a lot of like cancer lessons in regards to like setting myself up for like the things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, the personality thing I'm uncomfortable with, but I feel like I'm always put in those kinds of situations, so it makes sense. Um
Scorpio rising don't like all that attention and people all up in their personal life. I get it. I get
yeah,
it. Definitely feels a little vulnerable from time to time.
yeah. But I'm very expressive and I think I'm getting used to being that way again. So this all
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Um cool. It's weird because I just joined this like art group that I think will help support me with this like project that I've been wanting to
Mm-hmm.
do. So it's just like interesting timing.
Mm.
So it's kind of like a good like test group to kind of like share ideas and stuff and like safe, in a
Mm-hmm.
like emotionally safe environment,
Mm-hmm. Right.
like an inclusive space. It's like a good group. So that makes sense. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what else happens.
That's dope. That's dope. I would not be surprised if that situation ends up bringing a lot of fruitful opportunities, or even developing some fruitful relationships. Because it is Venus going into your 10th house. Venus kind of does deal with connecting relatability, so it could bring some. I could definitely see that bringing some fruitful relationships. But no, that sounds dope. That sounds dope.
Cool.
All right. And happy to have you here, Nikki. Happy to have you
Yeah, thanks for having
here.
me here and thanks for answering. That was so yeah, that was a great answer. Thanks so much. That was so helpful.
Of course, no
Really
problem.
appreciate it.
No problem. And feel free, like I said, to inbox me. I get a bunch of emails and DMs all day, but I make the questions for my Patreons top priority. So please feel free. Even if you got like 3 questions, once I'm settled, I'll take my time and answer everything. You can ask Trey. Trey, that's in the chat right now. He asked me a question, and it took me a couple of weeks to get to it, but when I got to it, I get to it. So
Nice. I
you
appreciate
know,
that. Thanks.
no problem, Nikki.
Cool.
So, alrighty, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. All right, it was a great build with y'all, great connecting with y'all. I hope everybody's able to, tap into these Virgo moon vibes, get yourself settled, grounded, going into the week, and I hope everybody has a fruitful week. I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping some things, organizing what I want to share with y'all, what I want to do on the platform this week. But other than that, I hope everybody has nothing but a fruitful, prosperous, positive, productive week. All right, guys. Good night.